This is Mitch down in the fitness center. How are you doing today? We're going to talk about the hip hinge. And the hip hinge is what the single most important movement that I think anyone can learn. And that is essentially just moving your hips without moving anything else. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of that, which is just basically standing nice and tall, pushing your hips back, keeping your back nice and straight, coming back up there, okay? So when you do this, what you're doing is you're engaging all of these muscles all throughout your body. You're engaging your hips, all of the muscles here, which is going to help you, first of all, it's going to take pressure off your back because the hips are going to be doing your movement for you instead of your low back, which is really what you want. It's also really good for your knees because when you do move your hips, you're engaging all of these muscles that when they're strong and they're mobile, they help support the knees in good positions. A lot of knee pain is because your knees are getting either pulled or pushed into weird positions because your hips are tight or weak or something like that. So I'm going to show you a couple ways to think about the hip hinge and how to practice it. So the first thing we're going to need is a wall. Makes it nice and easy. You're just going to stand up against the wall, eyes forward. So your butt against the wall, your upper back against the wall. You're just going to take a small step forward. Doesn't need to be very, very far. And then we need to line yourself up from the ground up. So look down at your feet. Your feet should be about hip width or so apart, pointing straight ahead. That's very important. We talk about symmetry all the time. And then from here, all you're going to do is just push your butt straight back to the wall. Touch the wall with your butt. Come back up. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, so notice when I do this, my hips are what is moving, okay? My hips are moving. My back is staying nice and straight. My legs are staying soft. My knees are not locked. They're soft, okay? Now, if you don't have a very good hip hinge, what you're likely to see here is something more like this, where you're hunching over and your hips really aren't moving. So what you'll see a lot is that you don't get your hips all the way back to the wall because you wind up doing more of this type of movement, more bending over. So what I like to say is we are pushing back, not bending over, okay? One is good for your back, one not so much. So again, just practice that. Boop, touch. When you come back up, make sure your hips are going all the way through. I like to say squeeze your glutes just a little bit. You don't have to overdo it, just a little bit. But what we don't want is get nice, good hip movement in there and then just overextend your back at the top, which now that's bothering your back the other direction, okay? So a couple of mistakes that people tend to make are, again, they kind of round their back. The other is they make it an up and down movement. So they don't necessarily have the feel of pushing back, they just drop down. And you see those knees just kick forward, and the hips don't really move. They just kind of hang out there, or you get some kind of combination, and it's more of an up and down thing. So notice, again, my knees are nice and soft. They're not locked, but they're not overly bent either. So those are the things to think about. I like a couple of different cues. One is have your hands here and just push your hands into your legs as you slide down. That tends to give you a nice base to kind of push off from. So you feel that hip movement going there, because you don't tend to do that. You're going to make that movement kind of come from your hips. The other, this is a little off color, but if you're going to moon someone and you have your underwear and you go boom, that's how it tends to work. I know that seems a little silly, but it works, okay? So hopefully this can help. If you have any questions, of course, come down to the fitness center. This is a really important movement. And when you have a lot of these issues with your knees, with your hips, sometimes even with your shoulders and your upper back, getting that hip hinge really in your body and just creating a movement habit with it so that every time you're doing something, those hips lead the way, man, it just loosens up so many things from your back all the way out. The hips are the center of your body, literally and figuratively. All good movement and all your body's strength and power starts with your hips, okay? Hopefully that helps. If not, please let me know and I will answer any questions I can. Have a great day.